our business is there is a really strange, perverse obsession with overcomplicating things.
100%.
I don't know why it is. I think it's like it's this weird delayed form of like not wanting to do the things you need to do, and so you try to overcomplicate it. You know?
It's because people are looking for the easiest way to get to their goals.
Welcome to the Growth Drivers Podcast, the show where we break down the leadership frameworks, mindset shifts, and strategies that fuel entrepreneurial success, personal transformation, and business breakthroughs.
I'm Rachel Novak.
And I'm Mike Novak.
Let's dive in and start driving your growth.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about what moves do you need to make right now in November to smash your 2026. And as we're talking about this, a lot of people wait to think about this and have this conversation until January. And if you wait until January, it's too late, right?
Exactly right. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people start thinking about it in December, but this is the time when things typically slow down. People are focusing, like the days are shorter, so people slow down a little bit more in the evenings and the weekends. So it's really the critical time to be assessing, reflecting, and starting to put some plans together.
Yeah, and taking action too. Like I think the biggest thing I want to emphasize today before we jump into specifics, we're going to give you 8 like very specific things you can do right here, right now to make 2026 the best year ever. But it's to start taking action now, not waiting until 1/1. Like there's this weird thing that people have where they wait for a calendar date to be like, I'm going to start that diet, or I'm going to start that lead source, I'm going to start that marketing plan. Don't be that person. Yeah. Like start when you say start, not based off of a calendar. It makes no sense to me.
Well, and if you think about it, like people you want to experience momentum, you want to experience results in January and February. And if you start now and start that ball rolling, start creating and manufacturing that momentum, you're going to experience it in January.
Right. And a lot of life runs in 90-day cycles. You know, there's a reason why we have quarters, you know, but like what you do now is going to show up in the gym 90 days from now in the mirror, you know? So same thing in business, like the efforts you're putting in are going to be the checks you cash in February, March. So 100% agree with you on that. I think you also see a lot of people, especially in our industry, the real estate industry, where agents, they almost like just take off from now until New Year's. They're like, all right, well, you know what? Thanksgiving's in 2 weeks, so I'm calling it a year. You know, I'm going to just wrap this up and work from home for the next, 2 months.
Well, exactly. And
then they don't ever do anything.
I actually shared something on this in my stories like a week or two ago, because if you actually look at the calendar, like say you take even the day before Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Day and the day after, and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the day after off. Those are 6 days in the next 6 weeks.
Right.
And if you instead focus on the off days and still take those 3 days off around the holidays, you can make so many strides in this season. So you're totally right. People take their foot off the gas, they take their eye off the ball, and then they wake up after Christmas or after New Year's like, oh shit, like I got to get stuff together. So this is your sign to start getting some stuff together now.
Yeah, let us be your wake-up call to get organized and get moving. But again, I want to stress, like, this is about not just planning, it's about starting to take action right here, right now, okay? So planning is great, but the action is ultimately what's going to get you results. So let's jump in to the first of the 8 kind of suggestions we got for people. The first one is get really clear on your 2026 goals right here, right now, and do so in all 4 domains. So not just business, which is what most people tend to focus on. I feel like most people, when they set goals, are like either business, or if they're not a business person, they focus on body.
Yep.
Right. And they neglect the other 3.
Exactly.
So
you've got body to focus on. You've got being, which is yourself. That's your personal development. That's your faith. That's, your inner narrative. And then you've got balance, which is your relationships, your marriage, your relationships with your kids and family and your close friends. And then obviously business as well.
Yep. So set goals for each one of those areas, write them down. And I like to have 3 in each area, right? I think if you go more than 3, it becomes very cluttered. And so this isn't like something you should rush. You should really think through and say, okay, are these very meaningful goals to me now? Are they going to still be meaningful to me in 11, 12 months?
Mm-hmm.
And are they really big, ambitious goals too? Because people tend to really underestimate how far they can go in 12 months,
Right.
but they massively overestimate how much they can do in just a couple of days.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So what would be like some examples that you would give people in a couple of these domains? Like, could you just give people an example of one goal for each domain? They don't have to be yours, but just
Sure.
like get people thinking a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Help 'em
I
out.
think, body, the easiest body goals are, of course, correlated to some sort of weight, either
Mhm.
goal, lose or gain. So say, in 2026, you finally want to get to 130 pounds as a female, or, 200 pounds as a male, whatever it is. That would be a specific goal, right? And if you give yourself the 12 months to do that, obviously in the Warrior system that we use, we break it down monthly, we break it down weekly to kind of take that goal into bite-sized chunks. In the business domain, obviously it can be a unit goal, a transaction goal, or an income goal, depending on what you're looking at. So say that 2025 sucked. Say it was terrible for you in real estate, and maybe you took your foot off the gas. Maybe you kind of threw in the towel a little bit and said, man, this year sucks. The market sucks. Interest rates are up. Everybody's uncertain. The economy sucks, whatever. Well, 2026 is going to be a completely different year. Like it's going to, and there are still people winning in this market. Like our team, we're not absolutely slaying it like we have in past years, but we are still doing very, very well compared to the rest of the market because we didn't stop doing the things. We didn't stop having conversations. So again, set a goal, either financial or unit transaction, and then break it down into what do the conversations need to look like every day that I show up. In balance, maybe it's as simple as I am going to commit to 52 dates with my spouse. I want one date every single week, no matter what that is. Maybe that's your goal. And then maybe it's a certain amount of books that you want to read, or maybe it's a certain amount of, minutes a day that you read your Bible, or, whatever it is that you want. Set that specific goal and then make it so it can be trackable and put it in your calendar.
Okay. Yeah. And beyond trackable, I think you want to make sure these goals are really present, right? Because what a lot of people do, very common mistake, they write these awesome goals, they put a lot of thought into it, and then they just shove it in the file cabinet. And by March, they can't remember what they wrote.
Exactly.
So how do people keep them top of mind? Because obviously you get what you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is if you're going to put all this time and energy into creating these awesome goals, how are they just staring you in the face each and every day so you can't avoid them?
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of different ways. If obviously, like we have the Warrior system, so we utilize the Warrior app every single day. We're in there every single day looking at it. If you don't have a tool like that, I think making time blocks, like putting the specific time blocks in your calendar every single week, so you're having to look at it and having to reflect on it. You can see the date night, you can see the minutes for your reading, you can see the workout time, you can see the weigh-in date. That would be like an easy way to keep it top of mind constantly.
Definitely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about like how ambitious of goals people should set, because we've certainly known people that set like what I would consider like softball, easy targets that aren't really like a stretch.
Yeah. I think that it goes both ways. There are people that set like softball goals, and then there are people that set what we call zombie goals. Like you've never come close to that. There's no fucking way that you're going to accomplish that goal. So I think it needs to be somewhere in between, right? Take into consideration, what you've done in the past, what you're capable of, and what you want to do, right? Like don't set goals that you don't want to accomplish because you're going to fall short. But you want it to be a stretch. You want to say, okay, in order for me to get to that by the end of Q1, I have to be X, right? So say you set a goal that I want to sell 24 houses and you've never sold 24, but you've sold maybe 18, 19, 20 houses in a year before. Okay, so you know that approximately you need to get averaging 2 houses per month. So by the end of Q1, hopefully you sold at least 6, right? So that would be kind of a way to set that goal.
Yeah, and the way that we kind of talk about it in Warrior is looking at it through 3 lenses, and those 3 lenses are reasonable, radical, and impossible. Do you want to explain each of those?
Sure. Reasonable would be what you're saying, kind of softball. Like you've done it. It would be a slam dunk. It would be easy. You would easily check that box.
So just to give us an example for a person that sold 18 homes, would it just be, hey, I'm going to sell 18 homes?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a reasonable goal.
Reasonable goal. Yep.
What would radical be? Again, that's a very simplified example. So I think it's probably useful.
Yeah, I think radical would be more like 22 to 24, right? Like maybe 30, 40% more than what you've done before would be a good radical goal. And then an impossible goal, something that would really stretch you, something that would require constant presence, constant focus, weekly, action, would be 30. In my opinion, right? Like that would be, okay, this could be an impossible goal for somebody who's never sold even 20 houses to sell 30 in a year.
Okay. And then if we took that one stretch further, you use the term zombie, and we also call it fantasies, right? So beyond impossible, would it be a fantasy example for that?
Between 40 and 50.
Okay.
Like if you've never sold more than 20 houses in a year, or you've never served more than 20 families in a year, to say that you're going to do more than double that in a year, especially in a market that may be slower, you're setting yourself up for massive failure.
It reminds me of, we've interviewed like thousands of people, and how many times I love when I hear this from people. I love like the spirit of this comment when I ask people what their goals are. But a lot of times people tell me, I want to make $1 million.
Yeah,
right.
I have heard that dozens of times.
Same. And so my first, comment is awesome. I love that goal. That's great. Not the first time I've heard that. What's the most amount of money you've ever made before? And every single time it's under $100,000.
Yeah, like 80K,
so like
90K.
It's like so far beyond fantasy. It's not even funny. Like, could you make $1 million? 1,000% you could, but would it be a progression to get there that might take you like 5 to 15 years? Yes.
Yeah. Let's work for like $150 and then a $250. Yeah, exactly.
But usually these people are like in 2 years. So I'm like, oh, okay.
I think it's just, in that instance, people do not truly understand the reality of what it takes to make $1 million. Like, yes, they could do 1 million GCI, but to make 1 million profit,
they have no idea.
They have no clue.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else to add on the first move to make?
No, I think that this is like the number one. Like, you absolutely need to get clear on what you actually want to accomplish next year, right? It's very possible you're listening to this and you had some big goals this year and maybe you don't even remember what they are anymore. Or maybe you're digging out your paper, you're digging out your notebook and you're pulling up your note on your phone and you're saying, shit, I haven't looked at these in 6 months and I'm not even close to any of these goals. And it feels really defeating. So pull those out. Let's breathe some life into them. Let's reevaluate, let's reflect, and then let's reset some new ones for 26.
Yeah. Move number 2, identify 2 to 3 habits in each domain that will drive the outcome of your goals. Craig Ballantyne, really well-known coach, he's coached us before as well. He calls these process goals. We've got outcome goals, and then we've got process goals. And so those two tie together, obviously. And in Warrior, we call these impossible games, which is the annual goals, and we call them monthly missions, right? What are like basically a 1/12 breakdown of the impossible game. So how should people be thinking about their process goals?
Yeah, I mean, the process goals need to be, what do I need to be implementing every single week? Actions I need to be taking, boxes I need to be checking every single week or every single month in order to be on track to meet that goal by the end of the year.
Right. If I do these things, then that outcome becomes kind of just a natural byproduct, right?
Yeah.
It's almost inevitable.
Right. It will literally show up.
Right.
Because of the actions you're taking.
Could you maybe give people a fitness example of what that could look like?
Of course. So like say you want to get to a certain weight and you are 20 pounds away from that weight. Okay, realistically, let's break that down. So essentially you need to lose about 5 pounds a quarter. Okay, if 5 pounds a quarter, you're talking 2, maybe 3 pounds a month or even less, right? 1.5, 2 pounds a month. Okay, if that's the case, then there are going to be a couple of things. Number one, you probably need to be hyper-focused on what you're eating and have a plan for it. You need to be you're hyper-focused on your movement and have a plan for it, which means putting those things in your calendar and then taking action on those things. And then you need to be tracking it. So you need to be tracking your weight. You need to be maybe checking in every single week with yourself or with a coach or whoever, you're keeping accountable. That way you are physically able and literally able to track the progress of that weight loss throughout that year.
So an outcome goal could be, hey, I'm going to lose 15 pounds. A process goal could be, I'm going to hire a fitness coach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go track everything I eat.
Yes.
Or I'm going to go get 10,000 steps a day.
I'm going to weigh myself every single week. I'm going to make adjustments if necessary. If I'm not losing the weight, I'm going to cut my calories 200 or 300 calories a day, right?
Yeah.
What that looks like.
Okay, so if you're going through this process, and you might have to listen to this podcast a few times to get this all down, you should have written down 2 or 3 goals outcome goals for each domain, body, being, balance, business, and then 2 to 3 process goals for each one of those as well. Okay. So now we've got some clarity. Let's get really tactical now. Let's talk about some shifts that need to happen. How about the business shift towards simplicity? That's number 3 that I've got. And this is a common theme, and it's something I'm noticing a lot in real estate right now. It's something I'm noticing in our business is there is a really strange, perverse obsession with overcomplicating things.
100%.
I don't know why it is. I think it's like, it's this weird delayed form of like not wanting to do the things you need to do. And so you try to overcomplicate it. You know?
It's because people are looking for the easiest way to get to their goals.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a constant chase for the information, that one thing, that trick, that system, that course, that whatever that's going to get me in on the information that sets me up for success.
Right.
And there is no fucking secret. Like, it's just consistency and boring work. Like, that's what it is. So to your point of shifting towards simplicity, like, what are the things that have worked in the past? Do those. Literally. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah, the 80-20 rule is kind of the tactical way to implement this, in my opinion. Like, just to give people like an actual, like, to do here is go back and look at what you're doing and what's generating results. So like if you're a real estate agent, like obviously selling houses is your job. Okay. So what are the things that you've done that actually result in you selling homes? And start looking at it and thinking about it and getting very tactical. And you'd be surprised to find that more often than not, that 80-20 rule applies, meaning that 20% of your efforts are actually generating 80% of your results.
Exactly.
That means you're wasting time 80% of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's kind of an eye opener. Like that's time you could go spend with your kids. They could go focus on income producing activities to sell more. Like stripping back those things that are not working and that you need to stop is equally important to what you start doing.
Exactly. I mean, I think a lot of real estate agents and people in any sort of sales business capacity, whether it's mortgage or title reps or whatever, like look at the actual units or the actual closings that you've had. Look at the sources of where those came from, right? If it's overwhelmingly a particular lead source, in my opinion, double down on that, right? Like get very simplified in what you do. If you're consistently doing networking events or going to Chamber of Commerce meetings or having lunch with industry professionals and you haven't gotten a single lead or closing off of any of those things, you are wasting your time.
Yeah. I think this is also the source of burnout and exhaustion for people.
Totally. Yeah.
They try to do everything, and by trying to do everything, they do nothing very, very well.
Yep. I agree completely. Simple.
Yep. Chase simplicity in 2026. Move number 4, prioritize the body domain. I think that this is like really gaining momentum in like just the way that our society is evolving right now. Like it's something people ignored for decades. And it's no longer being ignored. Like people have realized that health is the new wealth.
Yeah.
And at least in our circles, I know that we hang out with people that tend to work out.
Yeah.
But
most of our friends are fit.
Most people I know that are winning in business are also winning in the body domain, or they have not at least neglected it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a focus on it. There's a prioritization of the body domain. And people have found that by making their fitness or the fitness journey, making it an anchor in their calendar has become the springboard of success in all other areas.
Yeah. And why do you think that is?
I think it's because when you take care of you, when your mind is clear, when your body feels healthy, when you got endorphins running through you, everything else feels a little bit easier. Everything else is a little more fun to do, right? I was just talking with my coach this morning. I sent him some videos for feedback on my lifts. And, he said something about, like us weirdos love these like nasty leg days that just like induce pain on ourselves, right? And it's true. Like you go and do something really hard. You go do like a nasty cardio session or a nasty leg day or whatever it is that you do. Maybe you do yoga or CrossFit or whatever. Well, at the end of that, you feel better. You've done something pretty tough already. You put yourself through some sort of stress already. So to be able to tackle the rest of the stuff all day long doesn't seem like as big of a deal.
Yeah, I think, what you're kind of describing is really a twofold answer that I'm hearing. And let me know if I'm hearing this wrong, but I think that I would agree with this. It's a mental health approach, right? Like you're addressing your mental health by moving your ass and your physical body, right? And then the other thing is that you're able to cross-utilize the new talent and skill of discipline.
Exactly. That's
Right?
exactly right.
Okay,
Yes.
you've now found discipline through something, and it's impossible to just be selective with discipline, right? Like it becomes wired into your DNA, and it's how you start to look at everything. You stop looking for shortcuts. You start looking at how can I do things the right way, right?
Yeah, it infiltrates every other domain.
It does. Yeah.
Exactly right.
It's like our son who just started working out about 6 months ago. And I said, it's going to carry into every other thing he does. And what'd you see him doing the other day? You saw him emptying the dishwasher unprompted.
Without being asked. He cleaned up the kitchen. He's been making his bed every day. His room is clean. He's doing his laundry, again, unprompted. Like, it took a couple months, but it is seeping into every other area.
Yep. So it'd be like Teo. But I always challenge people to look at working out as an appointment with yourself. Like, it's got to be that non-negotiable. Like, you're not going to schedule things on top of it. You're going to schedule things around it. Like, life needs to happen around your working out. And everyone has time to do it. It's just a matter of if it's a priority for you or not.
Exactly.
There were years where I got up at 3 a.m. to go work out just because that's what life required.
And I think that it's really interesting because I know that I dealt with it, and I know that other people deal with the fact that there's like a little bit of weird guilt that people carry.
That's a girl thing. Like, guys don't feel that way.
Well, maybe some do.
Guys don't feel that way. That's like mom guilt. Oh gosh, I'm not with my kids and I'm at the gym. Guys don't think like that. They're like, I'm at the gym. I'm not even thinking about the kids.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So women have a much different, like, multifaceted brain. So that makes sense.
No, we're just like, hey, I got to lift, so I'm going to lift.
So anyways, if you are somebody, woman or man, who may feel a smidge of guilt by taking that time, going to the gym and thinking, I should be doing something else, I should be at the office, like, no, you shouldn't. Like, that appointment with yourself will set up the success that you need and the discipline that you need in every area for the entire rest of your day.
What about people that aren't working out right now and they're like, I'm just going to start on
1/1.
Yeah, 1/1
January 1st.
Yeah,
New Year's
I want to get through these holidays.
Yep.
You mentioned like, hey, there's only actually really a handful of holiday days there, and you could still have permission to eat Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
You could still have permission to eat Christmas dinner. You could still have permission to have a couple of Christmas cookies.
Yeah, have some eggnog.
You can do this with moderation. I mean, you're the queen of moderation. So do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think that it's, I think a lot of people are looking for some sort of external motivation, and 1/1, January 1st, New Year's resolutions is always like the easiest time because there's challenges and you feel like, well, if I try to start something now and I have some Christmas cookies or have some holiday pie or whatever, it's going to derail any progress I'm trying to make. And that's just simply not the case. Like, it's okay to eat really, really clean, take a couple of days, and then hop right back on that next Monday or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, that whole burn the bridges approach, I think it just doesn't need to be necessary.
It's it's kind of similar to that metaphor of like, okay, say Thanksgiving Day, like I eat way off plan and I have pie and eggnog and maybe some champagne or whatever. It would be like, okay, I've got one flat tire. So instead of like going and getting that tire fixed and getting back into the gym that next Monday, I'm just going to shoot my other 3 tires for the rest of the month. Like, it's ridiculous. So don't shoot the tires, guys. Like, go fix that one.
Yeah,
get right back on.
That's how you end up January 1st being like 20 pounds up from where you're at right now.
Yeah, even you're like, I'm setting goals down and I want to lose 20 pounds next year by 1/1. Oh, it's now 40 pounds that I have to lose next year. Don't do that.
So don't be the January 1st person.
Yeah.
All right, move number 5 is get your time off into your calendar. You know how big of a fan I am of planning out the time off. I think it does a couple things. It brings organization and planning to the family. Like, everyone knows when we're going, where we're going, what we're going to do. And then it also, in the business domain, it gives you kind of a condensed time frame. Where like, shit, I'm going to Europe, in three months. I gotta go hard right now and make sure that I get ahead before that happens. So it kind of applies self-inflicted pressure on yourself.
Yeah, but we've talked a lot about the 90-day rule. If you've heard any of our podcasts before, where we've discussed, the 90-day rule and then the 45-day rule that we've now kind of implemented. This is how you are able to be so productive in short bursts of time. So, maybe if you follow us, you see that we travel a lot, especially the last couple of months. We've traveled a lot. Well, we're still able to maintain business. We're still able to serve clients because the in-between times we are pushing really, really hard to connect with people, to sign those listings, to get things under contract and negotiate deals. Because we know there's a deadline, because we want to be able to enjoy those. And there's something about setting yourself that deadline ahead of time that, okay, I know that we're going on our 45-day long weekend here in like a couple of weeks. So I need I need to get X amount of calls in, get X amount of clients signed, get X, get things going here so that I can enjoy that time. So you're totally spot on. I think that, planning those ahead of time, it doesn't just create that timeline, but honestly, if you're booking Airbnbs or you're booking airfare or whatever it is ahead of time, like months and months ahead of time, it's cheaper. It's
you're
going
gonna
to
get
save
way
you
better
money.
pricing.
Yeah, because by the time you hit burnout, you're like, I need to go somewhere this weekend, you're going to be paying absolute premium.
Right. So yeah, pull out your calendar, book something every 90 days. How long you go away for is really relevant to your goals and where you're at in your career. Could be as little as a 5-day weekend, could be as long as 2 weeks, that's unique to you. And then every 45 days, we do like a 4-day getaway, just a shorter, local, easy one. We've done Vegas, we've done Arizona, we've done Eastern Washington, we've done Whistler. Like these are all like easy, quick hitter getaways, but those just give you like even a shorter burst of time to go hard,
Exactly. Yep.
So,
love it.
Move number 6, identify your skill gaps professionally. I think this is a really big one.
This is a really big
And this is hard, I think, for people to sometimes self-assess accurately. Sometimes people are too hard on themselves. And then sometimes people think that they're way better than they really are.
That's probably true.
So you might need to get some feedback from people that are in your circle that can tell you like, hey, you're really good at this, but you really need to improve on that.
Or assess your fruit. Like, look at your actual outcomes. Look at your actual production. If you think that you are good at sales, or you think that you're great at language patterns, or you're great at conversation, but you're not closing the deals that you want to close, you may have a language, like a sales language problem, or you may have a conversation problem, right?
Right. Yeah. I'll talk to agents sometimes, and I'll ask them questions about their business, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a great closer." You know what I mean? Like, awesome. Tell me, what's your listing met to signed ratio for this year? And they're like, oh, I have no idea. I'm like, how do you know you're a great closer then?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't track any of the data to validate that statement. That's a feeling.
Or the, no, I'm not great on the phone, but I'm excellent in person.
I hate that one.
I get face to face. When I get them face to face, I sign them every time.
Yeah.
Do you? So anyways, like maybe you need to be better at sales. Maybe you need to be a better lead converter. Maybe you need to learn some updated sales language, or you need to understand the market a little bit better to be able to make it into layman's terms, to be able to have conversations with people so that they understand, right? If you're somebody who uses what I would call like industry speak, right? Like you're talking DOM and like, ROI, and you're using all this language that we as agents or mortgage professionals or whoever talk about in the industry, that clients don't understand that. Like you have to break it down to like a 5th grade level. Like if I'm going to try to explain something to my 10-year-old, not in a condescending way, but I'm going to make it as simple as possible to explain it to clients so that they can get on the same page and they understand what I'm trying to get across. Right.
And shameless plug, if you're an agent and you need some better skills, we have a 58 module buyer and listing agent masterclass. It's $497, one-time fee, and you will learn a ton. It's our whole playbook.
You'll literally have everything that we've ever put together.
Yeah. It's accounted for 1,500 home sales. So anyways, move number 7, implement accountability. Why does accountability matter?
Because it is what keeps you moving and taking action, because you do not want to disappoint that person who is keeping you accountable.
Yeah, for sure.
That for me, that's like the biggest thing is.
So you have to respect the person that's holding you accountable.
When I have my coach, my fitness coach, Chris, I deeply do not want to disappoint him. So when I'm checking in, I am doing the work in between check-ins so that I can check in and be proud of the check-in and the information I'm providing him.
Yeah. What could accountability look like? Like whether it's in body or business. I mean, obviously like accountability and balance and being is kind of hard, but in business and body, it's a lot easier, right?
Yeah, I think that, having either maybe a group accountability setting, or having a couple of friends or teammates, or, in my Wartime CEO mastermind, we have several different accountability kind of partners within the group that check in every single Sunday with each other. It's really just checking in with somebody to say either, hey, I did the things that I said I was going to do, or being an accountability partner with somebody else, checking in on them and saying, hey, did you do the things that you said you were going to do? Of course, it can be a coach as well. You can pay somebody to do it. That is the highest form of accountability, because you are literally paying somebody to keep you accountable to the things that you said you want to do. So
I have an example I'll share. Like a couple of my buddies, Colton and Mike, they're called the 3 Meatheads. We have a Marco Polo group that we've literally had for like 4 years now. And if you don't check in on there on time, you owe everyone else $100. taken a lot of Colton's money over the years.
You're like, I didn't hear from you this morning, but you just get like a random Venmo.
Yeah. No text is sent, no marker is responded to. There's just a quiet, Apple
transfer.
Cash for $100.
Yep.
Yeah. But something that simple does introduce accountability, So move number 8, get your finances right. Why is this so important? And why is it something that people should be thinking about?
Man, especially moving into like the Christmas season, like this is the time of year that people stress about money. They want to make a great Christmas. They think that it involves doing, having money or doing a lot of things like that. And so a lot of people will go into debt this time of year trying to make the holidays special or trying to make them magical. So getting your finances in line now to understand, okay, realistically, this is what I can or should spend on the Christmas season so that I can start 1/1 or to start 2026 fiscally responsible is a really, really important thing. Something that I saw recently that I actually did with our kids the other night. Those parents out there who always kind of, we always want to make a magical Christmas for our kids. We want to get them what they want. We want them to be excited and their eyes lit up as they're unwrapping presents on Christmas morning. But I challenge you to ask each of your kids or your kid what 3 things they got for Christmas last year. Just see if they can remember.
Yeah, they won't remember.
And honey, just for the record, our kids remembered. Every single Every single one of them. They were like, yeah, I got this and this. I was like, dang it. This is not my point.
Teo can't even remember to tie his own shoes. How do you remember that?
So my point is, yes, there is a part of Christmas that involves gifting, right? That's like a traditional thing. However, the more you can make experiences together, especially if you're in a season where you need to be frugal, where you need to be stingy even, you need to be fiscally responsible, let go of this Hallmark pressure to be super, super materialistic on Christmas and make it an experience for your family. This is me giving you permission to do that. I hate to see people going into debt for the holidays.
Yeah, and it's kind of like one of those things where people wait till January 1st to realize they have a money problem.
Yeah.
And this is the time to figure it out and address it and fix it. And it's just as simple as developing a budget and using a tracking app of some sort. Like Mint is the one that we started with. We use QuickBooks now. Okay. But just track your money. Where's it going? And is that in alignment with where you want it to be going? Because people just have a lot of unintentional spending that happens.
Yep, exactly right. So you get that in line now. You start looking at what a budget should be next year, what you can get, your overhead down to or whatever. It's going to help you, and it's going to help your stress levels going into next year as well.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, that's our top 8 things. I hope that this helps set you up for a huge 2026. I know that we're got lots of plans ourselves. We're going to be building our house. We're going to be selling lots of homes, traveling maybe just a little bit, and bodybuilding. So doing all things that we do every year. So if you're an agent, you're thinking about coming to Real Brokerage, definitely reach out to us on Instagram. I'm at The Real Mike Novak, and you're
at Rachel Novak.
Yeah, and of course, if you're buying or selling and you're in our market, reach out to us. We'd love to help you with that as well.
Absolutely. See you next time, guys.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's episode of Growth Drivers.
If you found value in this conversation, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a fellow entrepreneur.
For more insights, tools, and resources, visit us at thewarrioragent.com.
Keep pushing forward, keep leading with purpose, and we'll see you next time.